Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another movie reaction and commentary. And today we're going to be hopping into something I'm actually really excited for. This one is called The Seventh Seal. This is another Bergman film, and if I recall, the last film we've watched from him, which wasn't too long ago actually, was called Persona, and I loved it. I absolutely love art films like this. I love films that are challenging in terms of how they execute the style and the process of the story, and it, in that process it becomes uber interpretable. You can interpret it from many ways. This film, not The Seventh Seal, but Persona and films like that, I don't even think this is the same director, but a great example is Stalker. I love that film. I remember first watching that and just being so moved and motivated in a sense where it got to my core. It got to my soul. I feel like I can be moved through story. I can be moved through great writing, great pacing, just like brilliant filmmaking. And a film that comes to mind when I say that is Amadeus. I still think Amadeus is such a brilliant example of incredible screenwriting, incredible cinematography, direction, action, costume designs. Like it executes all of that. However, I feel like there are films that really get to my soul. They bypass all the structures of filmmaking and they hit me right where my existence is. And those are films like Stalker. Those are films like, even Space Odyssey was really like that too. I think Space Odyssey was a really cool combination of it. Persona is a great example of that as well too, and a lot of other art films that take the foundation of filmmaking and kind of balls it up and does a Steph Curry from across the map and sinks it, because they're not completely disregarding the structure of filmmaking. I feel like they understand it, but they are also able to pull so much expression, pull so much emotion. There's so much rawness that comes from it. French New Wave of Cinema is a perfect example of everything that I just said. So I hope that I was able to highlight some examples before we hop into this, because Bergman is something that I really do want to dive more into, and also the director of Stalker I want to dive more into, because they're just favorites of mine. I really love them. I really get so inspired by them. So I'm excited to jump into this. I have seen clips of these. This is the first time. I haven't watched this movie all the way through, but this is definitely one of those films that I feel like has ingrained itself within filmmaking history. So it's great to be able to see why for the first time and also digest it all the way through for the first time. If you're new here, we're studying screenwriting as of right now. So if you look at the last 2 months of films, you can look at it from that lens. So if most of my comments seem to be geared around the screenwriting, I got my book right here. I can put my notes in. Stay tuned for the end. I'm always going to talk about things that stand out, the cinematography, things that inspire me, things that I feel like in the moment I really want to commentate over. But if you are looking for a more digestive conversation, definitely check out the outro. That's usually where I get all my notes and I kind of briefly go back and talk over the things that I personally enjoyed about the story or the screenwriting, etc. But I'm excited to jump into this. As always, guys, if you want to be able to support the channel, the best way to do it is by hitting up the Patreon, just in case if you also want the uncut versions of this. You can also support the channel by leaving a like, comment, and subscribe. And at the end of the day, you don't have to do any of those things. I hope that you can just sit back, relax, get your popcorn and snacks as we hop into The Seventh Seal. I hope that you guys are doing good. I'm excited to jump into these films. They're definitely more on the underrated side. Well, I guess you can't really say this one's underrated, but more on the nicher side of things. So for those of you who are here, the few of you who are here, I appreciate y'all. You guys got great taste. This thing started off like a Flying Lotus album. What? That's kind of cool. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of artists sampled from this. I love how back then moving the camera was like, what? You could do that? But I love these stagnant shots. That is a shot right there. Damn. That is a great profile shot. I don't know. It just feels like each frame already just has weight to it. But that's honestly because the camera's old as heck. Me at 3 a.m. trying to look for food. That's literally what that was.
Är du beredd? Min kropp är rädd. Inte jag själv.
Wow, he said his flesh is afraid, but his soul is not. This is death that he is talking literally to.
Ganska skicklig schackspelare. Du kan ändå inte vara skickligare än jag.
He's like, you trying to battle me in some chess? I'm still gonna take your soul, brother.
Villkoret är att jag får leva så länge jag står dig emot. Spelar jag dig matt, förger du mig.
Fun fact, my first ever film that I made in college was an example of this. I didn't even know it existed, but I don't know, maybe I'll show y'all that. I don't know, it's too embarrassing. It's my first one, but isn't that the point? Maybe I'll put it on my Patreon. How about that? Yeah, I don't know how to describe it properly without sounding like a whole nerd, but there's just something about this texture is just perfect. It's perfect. It's so good.
Jaså?
Ja, vältalig. Men talet han höll var dystert. Det måste man säga.
Again, they leave so much room for interpretation. I love that. There's so many forms of just digesting this film, or just films like this. That's why I personally love this approach of storytelling, especially screenwriting, too. Dude, what? That's awesome. Could you imagine just like getting up and stretching like that? That's pretty dope. I have to be careful not to break my neck though at 5 a.m. That would suck.
När jag torkade bort tårarna försvann hon. Och det blev alldeles tyst.
Wow.
I himlen.
These words that are forming sentences are just, man, they're actual poetry. It's literal poetry in motion.
Bönfallet är väl ingenting hjälper. Varför säger jag nu tyst?
It may not seem like much, but that was all in one take, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. There's so many things that the actors themselves have to remember in terms of the beats and when they jump in and how they jump in. Because it's not even just that it was a lot of dialogue, it's just dense. So kudos to them.
Betänk du dåre denna lag. Din levnadstråd är mäkta svag.
I love that the camera pushes in just slightly. Just enough. They don't make it dramatic. They do it just enough.
Varför håller du på med sådana kladderier?
Jag tänkte man skulle påminna folk om det faktum att de ska dö.
Blir de inte glada då?
To remind people that they are going to die. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Yep.
De måste ju leva. Åtminstone tills pesten tar.
Ah, plague. Was this the Black Plague? Was this before it's happening and this is sort of like a prediction?
Rep av galenskap.
Ser illa ut?
Ja, det ser illa ut.
I'm sure he already gets the gist of it. He feels something, especially from what he's seen earlier.
Jag har lite brännvin. Jag har druckit vatten hela dagen. Jag blev en törstig som en kamel ute i ökensanden.
Jag tror du blir rädd i alla fall.
Yeah, man's fear of death. How they fear it. And I love the connection with the painting and how one must accept that. That's interesting.
Numera lever jag i en spökvärld. Innesluten i mina drömmar och fantasier.
Love that we're pushing in. It's always so intentional. Always intentional. rather than technical. It's very intentional in expression.
Eftersom jag vet att nästan alla människors liv är beskaffade på just det sättet. Men mitt uppskov vill jag använda till en enda.
And there's a level of awareness within characters that are in stories like this. They have such high level of self-awareness, so when they're saying these things, there's that coding, that already pre-establishment that they know what they're talking about. They just don't know what to do with it, how to feel or how to navigate it. Similar to us in real life.
Värre än så. Tack, ja. Du var vände samma rumpan. Stor sanning.
I feel like that was like almost like a director's note saying like, yeah, the Black Plague on the walls is crazy, but it was way worse in real life.
Meningslös i himlen och likgiltig i helvetet.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. He's like, man, this drawing of me sucks. Yeah, the music reminds me of Flying Lotus. This is awesome. I wouldn't be surprised if he sampled this.
Är det inte rätt att förvåna sig över?
Woo! Pulled up. He pulled up.
Trots att det var länge sedan. Du heter Raval från pressseminariet i Roskilde.
So,
Till Dr. Mirabi.
plague has just been ransacking through the entire land. You got people stealing people's jewelry, just looting them.
Årsson övertygade en herre om nödvändigheten att dra.
It's a place where apparently God is not in sight. Or at least that's what it feels like.
Raval, jag är inte blodtörstig. Kom ihåg en sak. Nästa gång vi råkar så ska jag märka det ansiktet.
Whoo, he said that next time I see you, bro, I'm going to brand your face. Holy crap.
Jag är en trevlig och pratsam ung man som alltid
This dude lives in the moment. I love it.
gjort vackra och ädla gärningar.
Maybe he lives too much in the moment. I don't know. Maybe.
Vägen är bred men porten smal. Den svarte dansar på stranden.
What'd you just say? Nah, I'm joking. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I'm pretty sure they were just talking about death there.
Hästen sitter i trädet
That's
och gal.
That is wild. I guess that's how you pick up people, I guess. You just be eating whole chicken wings in your mouth. Got grease all over your lips and everything. I guess that's romantic. Why not? Damn, yeah, that would definitely shut down the function. What? These guys came in and said, listen, we don't care. Here's Jesus on the cross. We're getting a physical representation of the guy's painting. And you can see how the other guys are whipping one another. I love that even though we're following these main characters, I love the idea of that we're getting the close-ups of everyone there, because I'm pretty sure everyone, you know, death, fear, God, it relates to everyone, not just our main characters. And how our main characters feel deeply about it could be similar to literally everyone here. I think that's why I love those close-ups.
Min svullna näsa, ditt enfaldiga flin. Har du ett år kvar?
This dude's just taking this opportunity to roast people. He's probably always wanted to say this.
Till min hustru.
Nej, det har jag inte. Men om jag hade sett någon liknande dig så skulle jag skynda mig glömma bort att jag hade sett henne.
Dear God, that was a roast. Okay. 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 He said, I found you again. I told you I was going to do you the next time I see you.
Och vad jag skulle göra med om vi möttes igen?
He literally just said that. That's so funny. Yeah, he deserved that. Absolutely.
Vi var nygifta, lekte tillsammans, skrattade ganska mycket. Jag skrev sånger till hennes ögon.
Isn't it crazy how literally the worst thing that is happening in human history right now, and they're over here just vibing. I find that to be just so fascinatingly beautiful.
Tron är ett svårt lidande, vet du det?
It really is that simple. Just being with people, playing some music, eating some food, or I should say sharing some food. Yep.
Jag har väntat. Ursäkta mig. Jag blev en smula uppehållen.
I wonder if that's the sickness, like the black plague, or just he having sickness, you know?
Det är min hemlighet. Självfallet.
But it could also just be the fact that every human carries this with them. You know, every human is playing chess with death. And it's only when you remember it, when you remind yourself of it, you can think about it, maybe hopefully come to terms, maybe chew it a little better, digest it better.
Då ska jag tala om för dig, din stackars förvirrade fläsklägg, att kärlek är ett annat ord för lusta, plus lusta, plus lusta.
This guy called him a greasy cuckold. That's insane.
Lillebror.
Ja, tack, tack. Lite senare kanske. Nu har vi faktiskt bråttom. Tack, tack. Tack, tack.
The actor playing that guy is hilarious, man. I like how he's acting that character. That's funny. We got a whole squad here.
Hey, vad är det jag ser?
Uh-oh. Oh, God. Oh, boy. This is not going to be good. Oh, my God. Yo.
Taskspelarnas eget glödheta. Den ni kan sitta tillhopa och
Läsa monologer.
läsa monologer för varann. Tills det...
He got his homie to help him out. He said, bravo.
Sant lillblod.
Ja, men först måste jag slå ihjäl honom där.
Ja, visst, slå ihjäl honom bara. Slå ihjäl honom riktigt.
His face. He's like, what the heck is happening?
Det är det. Men tänk inte på det nu.
Det är kollrigt. Det är vad det är.
Wow, homeboy did a fourth wall break. What? This is in the 1950s.
Björnar, vargar och spöken får tag i mig.
Yo, I thought Death was walking up to him with a wooden bat. I was like, yo, what is he about to do? It's just as bad. It looks like a damn bow and arrow.
Den fågellet som sjunger hur han vill.
Oh no, it's a saw. I can't. I was not expecting this, man.
Har du inte tid?
När jag har min föreställning.
Ja, den är inställd. På grund av dödsfall.
Wow. Cancel on the count of death. Man, this thing gets serious, doesn't it?
Jag är inte här. Så stillnar smärtan.
Yeah, it seems like he recognizes that she's just a child, but death is still a very real thing. So that's why there's that... It's like there's that understanding through empathy. But they're still separate in their own way. But man, the empathy here is just wild. It's so sad.
Du svarar mig på det.
Hon har inte ont mer.
Du svarar inte på min fråga. Vem tar hand om det där barnet? Är det änglarna eller Gud?
Yeah, he's trying to figure out who's watching this. Who's stopping this, you know?
Vi ser det hon ser. Vår skräck och hennes ensamma.
The terror is
Det
ours.
lilla
Wow.
barnet.
Jag gitter inte.
Jeez. The way they were even able to word that. Usually, like films, they wouldn't even describe it because showing it is more than likely enough. But man, the added layer of definition that was told through just beautiful poetry. It's just, it hits. It really does. It makes you understand the weight of that.
Kan inte förbarma er över mig. Hjälp mig. Tala åtminstone med mig!
Wow. And she was the first person to aid him. He was the one that was trying to do terrible things to her.
Jag vet att det inte känner någonting till.
It's probably because she saw her parents, or whoever was in that house with her, get taken away by the Black Plague. Damn. That's hardcore, man. That is hardcore. He could probably see him. Because he usually has visions. He saw the Virgin Mary. He definitely could probably see this guy gaming with death.
Döljer du något? Ingenting undgår dig, eller hur? Ingenting undgår mig. Ingen undgår.
No one escapes me. Wow. These things hit.
Och du uppenbarar dina hemligheter. Jag bär inte på några hemligheter. Så du vet ingenting? Jag är ovetande.
Wow, the way they make death in this, I don't know. It's just it's real. That's the best way I can describe it, which is weird because of course it is, but man, the omnipotence he's able to have with the weight of his words is crazy.
Och stjärnans namn var malört.
Do they see death? Is my homeboy just standing there chilling? Yep. That's exactly what he's doing.
Var förbarmande med oss.
Om jag kunde fått en ört att laxera ut dina evighetsbesvär. Nu tycks det vara för sent. Men känn i alla fall den sista minuten.
Yeah, the only thing is just acceptance. Man, this is deep, man. This is crazy. I've seen death represented in a lot of films, but this one hits, man. I love that the camera is facing downward, given this unnatural height.
Och först går den stränga herren med lie och timglas. Men Scott, han slinker på sladden med sin...
Wow. And I'm to assume they already passed away because he's probably seeing the vision.
Du med dina drömmar och syner.
Wow. Wow, this film is crazy good. That was incredible. That was a great experience. All right, everybody, and that is the end to The Seventh Seal. All right, everybody, we just got done The Seventh Seal. This was a splendid watch. I enjoyed this so much. It's everything that I said in the intro just kind of coming true. This is profound in many ways, and it's incredible because I feel like a lot of films, especially in the 21st century, has they've tackled this idea, but I feel like none has been able to hit it quite like this. And there's a lot of reasons why that I feel like are hard to explain. But first and foremost, let's talk about the screenwriting, right? So what I love with a lot of his films, and just art films in general, art house films in general, especially when they tackle a more poetic approach of storytelling, especially if done right, is that what it does, in my opinion, I've said this before, is that they dance around the topic. They won't naturally just talk about it. They kind of dance around their emotions, but it's not scattered. I feel like it's like a spiral, and this spiral gets closer and closer and closer to the epicenter before, you know, everything kind of clicks, right? In a way where it's different from where you just were to just outright just say it. And I gotta say, that is not only challenging, but when it's done right, it bypasses all the barriers, in my opinion, bypasses all the barriers of the human mind, even the human eyes. When we're analyzing, when we're looking at the techniques and the story, we're aware of stories, we're aware of how they're structured, but when it's told like that, I feel like it bypasses that. Whether your brain's just not used to it, or maybe there's just no way you can kind of like filter that out, because there's so much feeling, there's so much emotion, there's so much close to heart revelations. You know, there's the knight who was playing the game of chess with death, and I love how aware these characters are, but specifically the knight and his awareness of death and his awareness of what is important to him. And I love that at the end he said that he does not regret himself for leaving and exploring that question, because it gave him this journey. But, you know, he's just tired. You know, he's tired. And at the end, we kind of see that after all of that, he's still afraid. You know, he's still frightened. He's still scared. But there's this, I don't even know how to describe it. There's this unique acceptance that happens that I don't even know how to properly describe it. It's so, like, of course these films are challenging and they're dense, and I'm not going to be able to get it all in the first go. But that's what I got up to his point, you know, and just how he was able to handle that situation too with the witch, and how he realized that she's young and how she's just frightened, and how he showed emotion, how he showed mercy to her in her situation. And I mean, just the other characters, every character here was dense. They were so layered, and I love the story between the family, the mother, the father, and the child, and how they were the ones that made it out in the end. How they chose not to go towards death because they have life, and to see them kind of go off, and just at the end to see how everyone was able to kind of go off and continue their journeys, even the people that, you know, death was able to confront and to have at the end. There's this weird conclusion that they both have, where it's never ending. And that, in a way, in itself is, I don't want to say comforting, because, you know, death is big, it's a big topic, but there's something there. There's something there to that, you know. When the guy was seeing the vision and seeing them dancing with death being at the helm of the line, and him describing that, again with the poetry, him describing the tears washing away from their face, all the pain that they've had, all the, you know, the tiredness, the fatigue is washing away. It's interesting. It leaves me in a place where I feel as though their journeys are not done yet. It may be done in this world, but their journeys is not done yet. And it's the same thing for the family, you know, who weren't captured by death, and their journey, you know, as they embrace this world that was said to be, you know, engulfed into flames and burnt and all of that. You know, it's interesting that on their perspective, you know, the grass was green, at least in black and white, I assumed. The sun was out, and the family continued. And there's a lot. There's that's just like the tip of the iceberg. You know, the Virgin Mary vision at the beginning that the guy saw. I mean, just his visions alone, I thought were very fascinating. And just the whole relation with the Black Plague, and just how terrifying that must have been, I think was so well done. And the poetry and the nuance and the approach of telling that story, I think, is incredible. Because what it does is that it takes something that obviously us, and even back then, right, this was like 1952, that they have no idea what the Black Plague was. You know, they have no idea, but what I find so interesting that the director does is that he makes it relatable. He makes it relatable because death is relatable. Everyone is, you know, we gonna be out here. We are gonna be out of here. So I love that he was able to craft this relatable dish for everyone. And again, because it's told through such a artistic style and that spiral that I was just talking about, anyone that's watching this can interpret it in so many different ways. And I think that's exactly what death is, you know? Like, it's interpretable, and it's completely up to you. We saw a lot of people die in this film, and in different ways. And how everyone came to terms with that is within their own right, within their own perspective. So I loved how this was shown. Man, this was a great watch. This was really good. Guys, I know there's so much more to talk about with this film, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it. Comment below, let me know what you thought of this film, some of the other themes that you've caught, maybe some things that I didn't catch. I would love to hear about it. Like always, guys, stay healthy, stay hydrated, stay present, because we are just getting started.
Purple jacket, pocket full of weed. Everything that I should ever need. Grab some matches cause they give them free. Just like my time.